There's been a lot of talks about bank collapses over the past couple of weeks in the financial world. First we had SVB, then we had Signature Bank, and then we had Credit Suisse over in Switzerland. Now, the question is, does this affect your trading? And if so, how do you go about managing your trades? And that is basically the premise of today's trading breakdown. I'm not going to be doing much technical analysis, but one thing that I wanted to go over is with the increased volume and the increased volatility in the markets, how do you go about managing your trades? One thing that I've always said in my previous videos is the market is alive, and this basically has an effect on the way I manage my trade, right? So when I'm in a trade, I try and make sure that I get the best out of that trade. And that means managing fear, that means managing greed, and that also means managing what I see on the charts. So that will be today's video. I had a lot of setups on CHF pair, and as you've probably guessed, it was because of all the news that was coming out regarding Credit Suisse. So 3 trades. First one was on GBP CHF. The other one was on CHF JPY, and the last one was on Euro CHF. I did have one more trade, which was on USD JPY, but that was basically not touching on the subject for today. So first, let's get started with GBP CHF. Coming on to the charts, the first trade was on GBP CHF. Now, as you can see, this trade, at first glance, you can see we went straight into profits. If I just draw my fib, you can see I was aiming for the 0.27 as always, right? But then we didn't get to the 0.27. We only managed to get to this low here, and price immediately reversed on us. Now, this trade, what this trade showed me, because as soon as we got into the trade, you can see 0 drawdown and price immediately went in our direction. But what I didn't do was manage this trade, and in a sense where I was already given about a 1.5 on this trade. But then the first time price came down, I didn't take any profits, take any action, because I was like, okay, well, my take profit is still further down, so I'll let it ride. And then immediately we got a reversal. Price attempted one more time, and then price completely reversed on me. Now, the next trade was on CHF JPY. Now, at this point, guys, I already knew that, okay, well, I'm going to have to be conservative for the week, right? Because we were being inundated with several news just coming out from at different times. And traders' reaction was going to be very unexpected, right? So I got in right around this level right here, and I was shooting for this high. And you can see this high was basically where last week's high was. And we had a lot of buyers that were being absorbed, right? So with all the news that was coming out, I was like, okay, well, these guys, they were probably going to panic if price comes back and revisits that high. So I wasn't banking on these guys sticking to their rules, or at least sticking to the trade. So what I expected was price was going to come up to this level, which was the previous day's high, as well as the previous week's high. And as soon as price got up to that level, I basically took my profits. It was a 1 to 5 on this trade. And you can see that the ultimate take profit was up here. So, and as soon as I got out, price immediately reversed. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. The market is alive. Like, yes, you might have your rules, right? But it's important to always manage your trade, because traders have emotions, just the same way you have emotions, right? And some people are more buoyant when it comes to looking over their trades. So this is something that you have to be cautious about, and this is something you have to take into consideration. And at this point, I was able to make back the loss from Monday, as well as a little bit of profit. Now, let's jump onto the final pair here, which was on Euro CHF. Now, with this trade, I actually really like this trade because the setup was very clean and the technical analysis along with the fundamental analysis actually matched up pretty well. And that was basically what I wrote when I posted the before trade on Instagram, right? You can see I gave an in-depth analysis in terms of what I thought would happen with this pair. And we did have two opportunities to get involved with this trade. And on the first trade, I basically got in at this level and you can see price immediately pushed up. But where price pushed up to was basically where there was a lot of value around this area. And once again, you can see a similar setup where buyers came in the previous day. They tried to push. So I, once again, wasn't banking on these buyers to stick to their trade because of what was happening over the week. There's a lot of panic, there's a lot of fear, and maybe these guys, their confidence isn't as strong as it usually would. So instead, I chose to be conservative once again, and I got out at this level where I saw that there were basically a lot of value being built around this level. And as soon as I got out, price immediately reversed and we got back to this trend line, which we broke here. And this would have been a better entry here, but I did not want to be greedy, right? So I stayed out of this trade and I was just basically watching this trade just to see how it would play out. This 0.27 was my initial take profit, and you can see price after consolidating at this same level where I knew that basically there was value. You can see price reacted to that level, but then proceeded to break out of that level. And that's basically it, guys. This is something that I wanted to go over today because I know in some of my previous videos, I usually talk about the market being alive. So that way I'm managing my trades on the go, right? I do have a probability of where price should go. However, I'm not trying to take the whole pie, right? I'm only trying to take a nice chunk of the meat of the pie, if you would, and I'm basically calling it a day. So just from my ability to realize what's going on in the market, what's going on in the financial world in terms of the macroeconomics and the risk and of bank collapsing over the past couple of weeks, I was able to then adjust and manage my trades accordingly, right? There's a difference with managing your trades out of fear and managing your trade out of being in tune with what is going on. And this is basically what it is, right? Yes, you might have your strategy and you might have a take profit. You know, I see a lot of people shooting for 5 to 1, 10 to 1, 70 to 1. I've seen sometimes, but that's not what trading is about, especially in the Forex market where it's all about reversion, mean reversion, right? The trade doesn't always push in one direction in the FX market. So this is why it's critical that you pay attention to what is going on the charts and fundamental wise and manage your trade in the best possible way. So that's it for this video, guys. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, notification bell if you haven't, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care, guys.